It's Nativa Days, and we are back at R&B Crazy. And we have a very special guest by the name of Brian Mcknight Jr. I am super excited to meet this gentleman. Thank you, Q Vibes, for joining us. Ryan, we appreciate you. Sylvia, we love it. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for joining. Thank you. It's appreciated. It's like a club banger. So right now we just waiting for Brian Mcknight Jr. to pop up on this live so we could go ahead and join forces at R&B Crazy. Thanks for the love. I'm loving the hearts. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Okay, I see you, Mr. Brian Mcknight. All right, we are about to join forces. Connected. How you doing?
I'm good. What
That's
up?
good.
How are you?
I'm well. I had a good day.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's what we hope for, right?
Yeah, for real.
Especially with everything going on. Jeez.
Yeah, we need it. We got to be sane.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. You guys have shown me a lot of love. I really appreciate it. So thank you, really,
Definitely
honestly.
for the movement. It really is nice. Your vocals are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, honestly.
So, can you go ahead and share with everyone who you are as a person and what you represent?
Well, I'm Brian Mcknight Jr. And first off, I represent, geez, honesty, creation. If you're an artist, give it all, give your all to it, honestly. And I believe that we all are. At some point, there's some place deep inside each of us that has something that, God, that we have to offer everybody, that only we can give. And I would love to be a walking example that motivates more people to tap into that. That no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, you definitely have something more than you probably imagine you have to contribute. And I want to help you tap into that, whether it's through my music, through interviews like this, where I'm able to, consciously talk to all of you, especially now, that's me, Brian Mcknight Jr., creator, singer, songwriter, lover. That's pretty much it.
That's amazing. So, like, what would you say guided you to your purpose? Like, what made you understand what your purpose was?
Wow. What really guided me to my purpose was the constant validation the universe has given me since I was maybe 2 or 3 years old. That it's like, yeah, man, this is exactly what you wanted to do. I would tell people at 4 or 5 or 6 or even 7 years old that I'm writing songs already or I'm hearing melodies already. And even beyond that, knowing that I just had this innate feeling of wanting to be in front of a lot of people, whether it was singing or talking, just in wanting to be able to teach all these things that I've been fortunate enough to learn, being with how accelerated my own personal life was. And even that in itself, as I've gotten older, has even instilled that validation again. That's like, I was not blessed to come into a life like this for no reason, and that I must use it for the right reasons. So God doesn't take these gifts away from me. So, to now be almost 30, to have a whole lot of life experience, to constantly look back on and say, yeah, this was also a moment in time, whether you like it or not, that was leading you towards everything that you've ever dreamed about doing. I attribute that and no other thing to just, gosh, man, always being proven that the path I'm on is right. And I can't, whether it's God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, following my heart has also definitely led me there without a doubt. So that's something else I always want to teach everybody. Follow your gut because your intention is always right, no matter what.
Exactly. That is true though, because we all tend to go astray, especially when we feel like, maybe this isn't the right direction, or you probably fall into other people's insecurities.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so as far as insecurities goes, has there been any time where you felt insecure because of somebody else that made you draw away from your craft? And if that was the case, how did you get out of it?
Wow. When it comes to insecurities, I feel like just as with any other artist, we all go through those moments of whether this project is ready or whether I'm ready for this show or whatever it is. And I really find that what helps me, because honestly for me it's never really like a certain person or a certain thing, because by nature I've never really been quote unquote jealous, for a lack of better term, of being like I want everybody to win. So that has also helped me. I get that from my mama. That also helps me. It enables me to kind of use everything as motivation. Not to say that I don't ever feel like maybe what I have to contribute people aren't necessarily ready for, which I had to realize was an insecurity of myself, because how unfair is that to assume that people aren't ready for something that you have to give them, especially when you haven't offered it to them even to give it a chance. So I use all those moments personally. I've kind of trained myself to give like just these triggers in those moments where I have those thoughts come in that are like, man, you shouldn't do that or you shouldn't do this. It's always like, take a breath and remember that I was put here for this, and I believe without a doubt that I'm a channel from something much greater than myself that allows me to continue to work at the rate that I know that I do. So that in itself immediately cuts through that insecurity and brings me back to the surface. And it's like, man, get back to work, keep doing what you got to do, because there's someone that needs what you're doing, with my intention being of wanting to heal. I'm doing them a disservice if I don't believe that there's people out there in need of this healing as well. And not to say that all healing is, so dark and even negative. Some people, I mean, feeling good itself is healing, being happy, laughter being the biggest one is healing. So even if I can become more of a positive affirmation or totem for people, I'd love to help on both ends of the spectrum. And that in itself, again, leads me to being able to keep doing it. So,
No,
just that constant evolution. Hmm.
you heard me?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, because I can already see that, especially with what you're sharing right now. I feel like it could definitely catch on to a lot of people, and I don't mean to cut you. It's just that I feel like
Oh
you
no.
speak these things right now are definitely tapping into a lot of people's thought space, especially right now. With everybody probably being mentally interrupted a lot.
Yeah,
um,
constantly.
Yeah, so like what are some things that keeps you from feeling stagnated, or what are some tips that you would give to someone that feels stagnated?
Huh. Honestly, the biggest tips I would give to anyone, and I love that you use stagnated, because I feel like that's the best way to put it, um, just keep moving,
Yeah.
just keep swimming, just keep swimming. We all know that. That's really all you have to do. Even those days that you wake up and you're like, man, I don't want to do this, or I don't necessarily feel like doing that. Whether it's your job, whether it's even your passion, we all have that moment. And I would say that's even in those moments is the time where you should feel or train yourself to become even more inclined to use that feeling and create from it. I talk to a lot of people that I try to mentor about writer's block, and I feel like even that has to do with just being in that sense of stagnation. You're not really progressing, and maybe you aren't feeling like you have much to offer at that moment. And that's when I say dig in, dig deeper, find find a topic you haven't touched on, or find an emotion you haven't touched on. Use different colors to inspire different feelings, and then use those things to just create from. And use a different means or a different mode of creation than you usually do. That's one thing that led me to painting. It led me to cooking. It was like, I can't use all of this in music now. As you grow older, you do have to find other avenues and outlets to give that energy away. And, not to get too deep on a Friday night, but when it comes to even sexual energy, I feel like a lot of that frustration that people feel sometimes, I would say use that moment, especially put that into your craft, whatever that may be, even if it's academic, even if it's politics, whatever it is. Whenever you feel that moment of frustration or that you aren't moving, just start running. I like that. Just start running, actually. And
Yeah.
guarantee that you'll find yourself in a new place, for one, and then you'll be inspired. And that's when those new ideas come, So that's what I do personally, but I'll be honest, it doesn't happen to me that often, because, again, I'm really fortunate enough to kind of stay in a constant just uh, just motion of work, first of all, especially as a writer, and then that in itself allows me to just always be making something new. It's pure creation, and I think being able to do so much just within music also really helps me as well, because I don't just write, I don't just sing, I don't just produce, and I don't just do one genre, even of music in terms of, you know, singing and songwriting, but I also score movies, and I'm looking into doing a lot more on that side as well. So that in itself really keeps me just focused, and it doesn't even allow those, you know, too many of those moments to come in where I don't feel like I'm progressing. And that's definitely taken a long time to get to that point where I'm in that kind of constant movement. So, you know, don't let anything deter you from reaching your own personal rhythm that works for you. I think what social media has done is sped all of us up in a
Yes.
way. And I would say, man, take a breath in those moments and just remember first, you know who you are,
Yes.
what you're here to do, and just keep going. And you'll get wherever there is for you, for sure.
Honestly,
Without
yeah.
doubt. Mhm.
We all need to take a break and
Mhm.
take a and refocus in a sense. So what you said, I feel like that was just, facts on facts. Like, because people
Oh,
need
thank you.
things, honestly,
Oh, yeah.
especially now. Especially now, because I understand how I'm feeling, so I understand how others might be feeling, especially in this epidemic and pandemic. So
Oh,
before we
yeah.
get to that, what are some hobbies that you would say that you have gotten into recently due to the pandemic, or like any newfound ventures that you got into?
Huh. Honestly, the one thing that the pandemic has really done for me is really honestly just refined the things that I had kind of begun to tinker with. You
Okay.
know, painting again being one, and cooking really being the other. Because music really does take up a lot of my time. More so than I think more people would realize, which is I'm really getting ready to start showing just how much of this I do and have been doing, you know, from my room. You know, the pandemic didn't affect me as much because I already spend so much time right here. But that's what then forced me to have to find those other means. And painting was huge. You know, if I could flip around, you would see, you know, my lady and I probably have upwards of 200 paintings. I kid you not, in our little tiny apartment here that we're like, well, we either need to start selling or just giving away, you know. And that in itself, when we do get in those rhythms with that, takes up a lot of time as well. So those two things, you know, and my family, I come from a long line of men that can cook, and I didn't spend as much time cultivating that as I would have loved to. So that's another thing that I've tried to start to do more often for sure. You know, even with it being a lot harder to go to the store now and all those types of things, but um, all of those combined with now trying to edge in a lot more of a workout routine are really my core things that I do to kind of get through having to be at home and not being able to go outside because I'm such a nature person. I love the beach. I'm a hiker. I love just being out. I do most of my writing outside. Um, so having to kind of figure out how to do it within this little space has been challenging, but I've loved it because it's definitely forced me to stay, you know, continue to challenge myself even within these parameters. And then the universe has definitely afforded me a lot of opportunities as well as I've kind of opened myself up to being more just receptive to new things, whether it be even new kinds of film, new kinds of shows, new kinds of books. You know, I finished a lot more books that were on my list finally, and that's been huge because I'm an avid scholar as well, you know, low key conspiracy type guy. I really get deep into all types of things, esoteric as well. So all of that combined, I would say, you know, definitely goes into my day to day now that we're really forced to just be home.
Yeah, I feel you. So you said you were really into nature.
Oh yeah,
So
huge.
you an earth sign?
Um, that's a good question. Maybe.
When's your
I
birthday?
would imagine November. I'm a
No.
Scorpio.
What is that?
Yeah,
Is that November what?
the 10th.
Okay, yeah, you are a Scorpio.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
Nature-ish.
Yeah,
Um,
it's my mom, man. My mom really, she's
hmm?
such a gypsy,
Oh,
hippie,
yes.
free spirit. Yeah, you know, my brother and I really, really got a lot of that from her. You know, as if anyone's been watching my story or my feed the last few days, she's been blowing it up, just kind of promoting our new EP, and people are falling in love with her. And I love it because that's really her every single day. She's driving and doing her like lifting now because she loves driving and helping people. So she figured, why not get paid for it? You know, it's the hustler in her, and that's
Yeah.
really where we get it from. So, yeah, I'm always about it. You know, I'm one of those guys that will straight up take his socks off and walk around just to feel it, you know, because I love to be tapped in. You know, I really, really love to reciprocate the energy that is coming to me at all times. And I feel like the closest I can get to the source is, you know, the trees, the flowers, all this around us. And I try to give it as much respect as I can. You know, spiders and a few other of these bugs,
Not the spiders.
they're not quite, not there yet. Not there yet, but we're working on it. I'm
Yeah,
going monk style soon.
yeah. No, I can't do it honestly. I was like, I don't know how people like go camping because like bugs, they like freak me out. I start.
Well, see, I love camping. I'm a camper. I'm bathroom outside, cook outside, shower outside. If we're gonna go, I don't want to glamp. I want to really tent it up and risk it. It's all about risking it. You know, that's what makes it sexy. Just to be honest, that's what makes it sexy.
No,
You know,
I
the
feel you.
risk.
Getting closer to the earth, it is important. My like, I watched my mom talk to her plants. I
Oh
watched,
yeah,
yeah, and it actually, honestly, I think it really does help them grow.
without a doubt.
Because when I tell you they were so fruitful and so like they just grew big. I was like the bamboos and everything, like they were just huge.
I love it.
We're in the house,
I love it.
the light. So that was, that was amazing to see
Yeah. Oh, it works, man.
to them. So I don't know.
It
That
really works.
was that was pretty cool. So, so what would you say your creative process is like?
Huh. You know, people think I'm cocky when I say what I'm getting ready to say, what I was going to say without thinking. But honestly, I just wake up. I wake up and I immediately allow myself to receive whatever I'm supposed to do first. You know, I let that happen before I start any existing jobs, any existing work. I usually wake up and get right to writing first, and melodies are constantly coming. So people usually ask, you know, do you do melody first or do you do track first? And for me, like, there's really no kind of set pattern or anything for how I do it. It's just whatever's in front of me, I tackle, and then I'm constantly getting these ideas from somewhere at all times, and I just kind of sift through the ones that are attacking me the strongest, and that usually becomes the songs I work on that day. You know, my girl, she's always asking me like how I have all these songs, how I can remember all these songs, and it's just she's like she explains it like having a Rolodex, right, babe? Having a Rolodex of songs. And that's really what it's like. So there's never a time where, to go back to the stagnant thing, where I don't have something that I could be working on. So that in itself really helps, never having to kind of like, I don't have to light no candles. I don't have to really do any type of ritual to get into my groove. I'm just constantly going. And I attribute that, you know, I tell people, especially my young producers, it's like, man, I've been doing this since I was, no lie, 9 or 10 years old. You know, my mom and dad put a studio in my room early, sixth grade, seventh grade. I'm talking analog before you could be on your laptop, boobity boobity boop. You know, I was really blessed to be able to learn how to run it, no patch bays and all of that. And that's why now, you know, to be 30, it's really almost second nature for me. You know, writing songs, I don't have to think about it. You know, if I get a call right now, it's like, if you don't write us a song, we're gonna kidnap your mama. I wouldn't even flinch, you know. And I mean, I'd be like, oh, give me 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
we'll get mom. You already know she'd be in there. My mom wouldn't be worried. I'll put it that way. And I attribute all of that honestly to, you know, being able to work so fast and having so many muses to pull from, to my mom, to my dad, to my uncles, to my biggest musical influences that I was able to grow up with that put it all in front of me. So I'm always like, maybe I was blessed with my process being to just be the vessel. You know, I'm allowed to really just kind of wait for that moment to happen. And luckily, I've practiced enough to be able to bring these things to life.
Right.
So I always try to tell people, again, the people I mentor, maybe not even to focus so much on creating a process, allow it to just become a part of your routine to constantly be creating. And then you'll realize you're going through your day and gosh, man, it's like, wow, I've written 3 songs today while I've been at the gym or with the kids or, even in those moments where you're probably supposed to be paying attention to the person you're with, but it's like, man, I'm writing something that I'm feeling in my soul has to get out. When you get there, you'll realize you spend less time worrying about trying to prepare and warm up. You're always ready to go. Stay ready. You don't got to get ready, and that's really, I guess, that's how I work, man. But I come from the old school. I grew up watching those guys, Tim and Bob and Babyface and them. Babyface still wakes up at 9 o'clock every day and is writing songs. No, he doesn't wake up. He's up way before that, but he's in the studio every day still, 9 o'clock writing. So for me, I'm like, if Babyface with all his hits and all that bread is still working at that level, I gotta be up. I gotta be right there because that's where I want to go. So that's yeah, that's really it for me. I just keep going.
Honestly, they say what is it that the saying? The early bird gets the worm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
there's a lot of facts to that, and like I don't really feel like that's cocky. Like it's basically what you're saying is it's like innately in you, like it's in you
Yeah.
for you doing this, and this is what you feel like this is your purpose. So I don't see how that would be cocky for me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I,
I try my best never to seem that way, because especially nowadays, man, I know how easy it is to take on that braggadocious type of entity because I feel like that's just become such a part of the male artist bravado. And I like the fact that I can honestly say that I'm just me, and I'll just do my best to always evolve and become the best version of me so that no matter what, version of success I may reach, I'm constantly just giving the people a positive role model to look up to. Not that I'm not going to make mistakes, not that I'm not going to do things that may not be approved of by society, but I never want to give anyone a false sense of purpose or a false character to look up to because, man, the youth pays attention to everything we do. As a dad, as a father of a boy and a girl, it's just like, man, I cherish the idea of the fact that we are molding these young minds. So we really must be careful. Those of us that do have a voice and that are allowed platforms like this to influence, um, that in itself inspires me to constantly check myself, to be honest.
so
Yeah.
have your children given you a awakening moment? Because I know with my son, after definitely woke me
Oh
up.
my gosh, I mean, my son had already done it for me. That he's the catalyst in a lot of who I've become. But my daughter, just with my entire situation with which will definitely become a lot of my narrative soon with as I roll out a lot of the things I've been working on. It's like every single day they give me these moments. Those moments haven't stopped, and I think the couple of them now, the two of them, seeing them together has just been like, man, you better not F this up.
That's
Because
graduation.
they're gonna leave. At some point they are going to take on their own legacy and inspire their own, generation. So for me, it's like got to be really, really, really careful. Careful. One, instill any of my bad habits or any of my fears on them, but also giving them that sense of security enough to know I better call daddy before I do this. If I can
Yeah.
secure that, that'll keep me so sane. And I think that way is just being honest, first of all, and allowing them to know that they can be honest with you. So I do my best to already talk to them as, conscious individuals. I don't goo goo gaga. My daughter, she's 2. We have those eye to eyes, and she's already like, all right, daddy, I know what's up. And it's in those moments even that are like, all right, man, you got to keep cultivating this and never slip. So yeah, constantly, each time, every kiss, every hug, though, that happens.
No, I feel you. Well, God bless all you guys because I understand like the
Thank
love
you.
of and I'm happy, you guys are, working as a family because I think it is so vital, especially
Oh
for
yeah.
our to be, with their fathers and with their mothers. So I just want to say blessings to you guys for
Thank
real.
you. Thank you so much. Really, I appreciate it without a doubt.
No
And
problem.
we're gonna be doing a lot. The entire family, I'll say, all my entire tribe. We're gonna be doing a lot over these next few months. I'm really excited about. So I think everyone will finally get to see. First off, just all the talent I was fortunate to grow up around, and I think that in itself will give everyone just a better sense of who I am. Because that's my story. You know what I mean? Honestly.
And you got to live in it. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to be watching
Oh,
it.
thank you so much. And I really, really, I do appreciate all the love, man. Especially as an indie artist, it's easy us to feel like we've been overlooked or that we're being overlooked. And I just appreciate, always the lookout. Thank you so much,
No,
honestly.
at all. I
Hmm.
think it's just, I guess, the people, I guess. It depends, different stroke for different folks.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but I guess that's what we got to like keep in mind. Like what's for somebody might not be for them. And then it might be something different for others. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely, I felt the vibe. Like the music is good for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So as far as your music goes, like what are some things you want your music to portray? Like what's the main message you want to deliver?
Huh. First off, I would love to give everyone, especially this young generation, a real male role model, who's also a sex symbol, but that isn't out here wilding out. And I think my music definitely encaptures that hopeless romantic dude that will definitely please and satisfy each one of your fantasies, but that you can assure is only doing that for you and is going to take care of the family. I think
Wow.
all of that you will find within my music now.
No, that's
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm a lot of you men on this line taking notes right now because
And you know,
no, that's
they
important.
will
It's very
soon.
somebody had a question on here and people are saying amen to this.
I'm working on it.
Somebody said what happened to your projects that you had on SoundCloud? I don't know. I'm gonna
You
open up some.
know, that's actually a really good question, and I've never talked about that. But I had a lot of music on SoundCloud a few years ago, and I'd had a conversation with my grandfather, and I was going through a really dark period, just honestly, in just in my life. And he was just talking to me about making sure my music represented who I actually was. And I just had one of those insecure moments, like we talked about earlier, and I went on there and took all that music down.
Wow.
And I only now have realized just how much that really hindered just my growth at that time because I was really popping, honestly, especially it was the early ages of SoundCloud when you weren't just getting plays like that. But all of that in a learning experience, and to be honest, that situation prompted me to start the run of releases I've done this year. I was like, I started with putting those particular projects up on all platforms now, the Junior EP, Jeep Music Volume 1, If We Survive. All those original SoundCloud albums are officially now up everywhere. And that for me was kind of like, all right, now, man, now don't stop. And I think I've released 14, 15 projects in total, whether they're singles with other people or projects myself now. And I can say now that that run is not going to stop anytime soon. And it's going to be coming in so many different ways um, because I've had to watch people use the ideas and use the rollouts that I had planned back then work. They're working now. Back in the day, people were telling me you're putting out too much music, you're putting out too much music, and I unfortunately listened to them. But that was young, impressionable me. That was me before I realized my worth as an artist and what I really have to offer to people. And I feel like that's what I'm showing now. And that in itself just has me so excited to preview all of these things I'm working on and then to give them away, because I have so much to give. If I hold on to it, you get backed up. You really do get backed up. So it's time to just purge. I've released so much music that pretty soon I'll honestly have more songs out in the stratosphere than even my dad. So to consider that, it's even to think maybe 5 years from now where that number could be with this kind of constant just state of continuing to make music, continuing to release music, and then now beginning to shoot little mini movies and then soon to be movies to these movies, letting them be scores that kind of just begins to encapsulate everything I want to do. So it's been incredible to see these things begin to take fruition, and it all stems from that exact moment of taking that music down and all the things that happened since then to get to where I am now, where I feel like I'm finally gauging more than I have ever before. And it's just the most humbling thing and the most inspiring and motivating thing to, again, keep going, to continue to get better and become exactly who I feel like I could be, one of the biggest singer-songwriters of all time.
That's amazing, though. Elevation, key, for real. As long
Thank
as
you.
you see, where you were at and understand where you were at that point in time and progress from there, I feel like that's all we need as a
Yeah.
community, as people in general. Like, it's important.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my next question is going to be, so like, okay, earlier you said something about walking through something. So would you say you walked through the pandemic, or you're walking around it? Like, with everything in the epidemic
Hmm.
happening, what would you say is your way of moving
Through it.
through?
To be honest, to have honestly have been personally affected by what's going on, having to really keep positive, stay strong, not let the negativity, the news, or any of these things kind of keep us from keeping that mental health strong, regardless, I feel like we've attacked it. I really appreciate, first of all, being in the kind of place that I am to not necessarily have to rely on much help. We're really self-contained, we're rather self-sufficient, and that has really allowed us to continue to do what we do. So I would definitely say we are in no way shying away from any of these things happening, even on the political side. I'm not really vocal about it just because I'm kind of allowing a little more of these things to develop, to be honest, before I really begin to lay out a lot of these things I'm feeling, and a lot of these things I'm thinking, because I have a lot to say about a lot of it, and I don't want to jump the gun and have a narrative out there that I don't strongly believe in my soul. So the pandemic in itself has even allowed me to cultivate a lot of these issues that I'm going to begin to really start laying out pretty soon from a young black male artist's perspective, because gosh, the pandemic, if anything else, has not forced us all to take a real good look at what's going on, and if you're taking a blind eye to it, it's you know who you are.
Yeah.
And as an artist, no matter what your view is, I do believe that you are compelled to say something. You are compelled, because at the end of the day, it's about empathy. And if you don't have empathy for the things that are happening, whether it's from the pandemic or from the political things happening, that's who needs to be checked all across the board. And for me, I do want to start talking a lot about that soon. And I believe that time is coming, with this election coming up and the fall coming up, which is going to force everyone that's kind of sneaking out right now back inside. I think we're all gonna be forced to kind of have some tough conversations. And
Yeah.
me and my lady talk about it all the time. And one of the things I teach is we got to start preparing for those conversations. And I feel like that's who I want to be. I want to help people. I think I want to become that mediator that gives people the vernacular to have certain conversations without butting heads, because I think that's what it's really going to take to get through all of this. You know what I mean? So I
Only
think
way to
in that way, yeah, we're getting through. Yeah.
only way to hear, because I feel like once people are like this the whole entire time, like what's like
Yeah,
the message gets missed.
exactly. If we're constantly having to agree to disagree, we're not really moving forward. But I think in order to get to that next level, it's going to take a really, really disciplined and unbiased look at all sides.
Yeah.
It's like, how can we all, I think it's time for us to all kind of get to the table and really just be like, listen, how can we finally really get through all of this? No facades, no nonsense, and I think everyone needs to be involved. These meetings can't go on behind closed doors or anything like that. I think when the powers that be and the people finally reach that intersection of, let's all finally really talk. Let's talk to these billionaires. Let's talk to these trillionaires. Let's really see what's going on and what's the best way that we can move forward to ensure that we can, A, take care of the planet so we have somewhere to live. That's where I'm at. I'm just like, I'm all for all of it. But if we take a bird's eye view, the overlaying issues are really what's happening around the world, man. And I think that is even the universe or God's way of saying, y'all better figure it out. Y'all better, because this ain't it. So I don't know, but I'm encouraged and I'm motivated by the fact that a lot of these conversations are beginning because this has to happen. And it's been prophesized that there will be a period of not struggle, but a constant evolution. And as we know, just like working out, like getting bigger, those muscles got to stretch and it's going to take real work, but I think we're in that preparation mode and time now to where our generations and the generations after us don't have to do as much work as we're doing now, which I feel like is the goal, right? So, I'm excited. Oh yeah, it's coming. I'm positive about it.
Yeah. So, what would you say motivates you most in life, or who is that person that motivates you most in life?
Huh. My kids,
Yeah.
first of all, without a doubt, my family, those close to me, the people I would die for with no question are why I do everything that I do. And then this innate feeling that I know at some point I'm going to have a lot of people listening. And with all these things and with my intention being that I want to help, I want to save the world. We look at these people, I'll just use Bezos as an example because I love to use him as an example. We always say and we always hear that, yeah, he could save the world, but he doesn't, it's not what he wants to do. What I imagine all the time is someone reaching that type of level of success, not even wealth, but that type of success that does have that intention to bring the people together. And that in itself, knowing that if that's what I want to live up to, I can't mess up. I can't be out here wilding out, and I can't allow them to have anything on me that could knock me off of that pedestal once I get there, is what motivates me to keep going and to continue to sharpen my iron and keep my shield clean, to be honest. Yeah.
Like how you put that, for real. It's important,
Thank you.
very vital. Um, so, what would you say? Okay, okay, let's push it back. If you could go back to 14 years old,
Hmm.
what would be the message that you would want to give yourself so you can navigate the world?
Man, 14-year-old me,
Yeah.
pivotal age. Pivotal age. Pivotal age. I just got held back, ninth grade. We just moved to North Carolina. I was super frustrated. Me and my moms were fighting all the time. You know what I would tell myself, honestly? Take your time.
Yeah.
Because as hard as I fought to get back to LA from 14 to 18, the urgency I feel to get back now to that side of the world where my family is completely trumps that feeling of wanting to be out here just to be living the fast life. So I would really tell myself, slow down, man, enjoy this country, write more music outside where you've written more music than you've ever written in your life. There's something to that. Take it all in. Don't be such a rush to get back to Hollywood. I think I even then would understand older me telling myself that. Be like, you
Yeah.
know what, man, you're right. I'm kind of giving moms a hard way. I got my little bro looking up to me. I should probably just relax, play a little more basketball. Take my mind off of not being 14, man. And we seldomly, those of us, especially us black men, man, get to talk about not necessarily having a childhood. And people hear that and they go real about it, but it was deeper. It's just we have so much to live up to so early, especially in a single family home, that you really don't get the chance to just go play with your friends. At 14, I was already like, I gotta make it. Even
What?
with my dad being who he was, to be honest, it was like, man, I'm not trying to see my mom struggling. I'm not trying to have the lights off. I'm not trying to deal with none of this. I'm not trying to see my little bro crying because he can't have this or that. All of that for me is what already at that young, I was like, I have to make this happen so we can live this life my grandfather and I talk about. So I would just say, man, you'll get there. We will have our moment. But right now, just relax.
Oh, that's
go
great
to
advice.
school, and
That's
relax.
advice. I
Yeah,
hope that the younger generation is tuned in, or tunes in later, because that's very imperative.
yeah,
Because we all got a tendency, especially like you said, those who have been in a single family home, like, or with a single parent.
yeah,
Um, you do feel like you gotta grow faster. You do
yeah,
feel like you gotta make it. You do feel like, wow, like you said, the lights off or the water, because I've
right,
been through it, so I get it. Like, you don't
yeah.
want that to happen. So I completely get it. Not to get all personal, but
No,
it's
that's
true.
great.
Yeah. So, can you? I don't know if you're open to this, but I was gonna ask you if you could like sing us a tune to like lighten the mood.
Oh, of course. Um, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Let
Awesome.
me
This is exciting.
try to remember the lyrics. That's my biggest thing, and I'm open about it now, so that when I get on, it isn't a huge deal in those moments where I forget the lyrics, because I'm gonna laugh it off. So I hope everybody laughs it off with me. But
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it. Um, just let
Yes.
me know if it sounds okay. Oh, oh no, no. Is that all right? Feel like I'm doing my own special right now. Oh, we met in the middle of a masquerade, oh, having a ball, baby, living dangerously. You smelled like roses and tasted like honey wine. It was like time stopped completely. Oh, I'm talking about a deep emotion. Got me.
Did it freeze? Probably connection, you guys. Yeah, it must be connection. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, maybe his phone died. That's what I'm guessing. But that was a treat. I mean, we got a little preview, you guys. You can't knock that. Definitely could hear the vocals. I'm not sure yet. I think his phone probably just died. Um, Brian, okay, he sent a request. So you guys stay on, don't go nowhere. All right. We got him back. I don't know. Maybe it was a
There you
connection.
go. I don't know what happened. I think it was too hot. It was too hot for IGTV.
It could be.
um, I don't know how much of it you heard. I wouldn't mind running it back though, I guess, if
Yeah,
you
you
would
can
like
start.
that.
Yeah, you can start from the
Huh.
start.
Let's see. Oh, we met in the middle of a masquerade. Oh, having a ball, baby, living dangerously. You smell like roses and tasted like honey wine. It was like time stopped completely. Oh, I'm talking about a deep emotion. Got me focused on slowly stroking you down anytime and anywhere. I don't care, no, baby. They can call me crazy, but this could be perfect harmony. Don't you ever leave. Can't you tell you got a hold on me? Oh no. If I'm being honest, I've never cared so hard before. So, baby, I promise that it's only yours. You feel like heaven. You see right through my disguise with those angel eyes. You've captured me now. I'm talking about a deep emotion. Got me focused on slowly stroking you down anytime and anywhere. I don't get out, baby. They can call me crazy, but this could be perfect harmony. Don't you ever leave. Can't you see you've got a hold on me? Oh, baby. See, the show, I'll probably play that for like 7 minutes, so it's hard to stop when I play it, but
No,
just a,
people are
just a little
okay.
taste.
You should comment. Oh wow, like
Oh,
people are
thank you,
really.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so
Oh, this
much.
is beautiful talent. You better
Thank
sing.
you.
Fire sign,
I'm trying,
fire
I'm trying,
sign.
I'm trying.
No, people love
All right.
it.
Thank you
I
so
love it.
much.
Thank
No,
you
really,
so
that's
much.
a exclusive thing. No, thank you, really. That felt good. Felt really good.
That was awesome. So, is there anything that you
Thank you.
want to, leave off with a message that you want to tell to the people who are supporting, or any way that they can find your
Uh,
music?
Definitely. First of all, I just want to thank everybody who's been holding me down for the last, gosh, 10 years. The re-release of Marry Your Daughter has been huge. Broken Robots, my rock band's first release in almost 11 years now. We finally just put out. I just released my own album or two, both of which that are on all platforms. And all of this has been a precursor for all of the projects that are coming for the next, rest of the year. My plan is to drop every Friday until we're out of here. First of which comes on the 4th, the Come Through EP, which I'm really, really excited about. It's a quick songs, quick pack, 3 songs, 9 minutes. And if this can't get you to at least second or third base, you probably don't deserve it. And that's all I'll say. And yeah, I'm Brian Mcknight Jr. again. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, father, creator in all regards. And I'm just appreciative to be able to do this and do things like this through this pandemic that allows us to connect and continue to share my gift, man, because without y'all, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the constant support, without a doubt. And I got a lot coming for you, and I'm never going to stop.
Thank you so much. God bless your heart.
No, thank you.
Um,
Likewise.
yeah, we can out or whatever. I'm gonna give everybody a final
Cool.
message, which was amazing. God bless you and your family, and I just wish you all this.
Yeah. So much.
I don't know. Is it both of us? Okay. I don't know. It keeps freezing, but hey, guys, we're back, and I am so excited. He definitely, blessed us just now, don't you think? That was amazing. So I just wanted to share with you all that we are doing a contest, and you could win $500. So, whoop, whoop. So go ahead and DM us for further information on it. All you have to do is pay $50, only $50, and you have the opportunity to win $500. It's like, no. All right, thank y'all so much for watching, and go ahead and follow me at Nativa Dage. Yes, peace out.